Well, you got to work with Kevin O'Connell, and now you get to work with Liam Cohen. There is some similarities there between both of them. They both were in LA at one point with Sean McVay. What has it been like so far working with Liam and trying to get to know him and what he wants his offense to look like? Because you're going to be a pretty big part of the week to week game plan and putting that together for him.
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's cool to see the similarities and the differences, like you said, between Kevin and what we did in Minnesota and how he sees things, or even when you watch teams around the league that run this system or similar system, the little details that are different or similar. But ultimately, the process of trying to learn his identity as a play caller, his identity as a head coach in the offense, and then trying to mesh that with our identity that we're creating here has been an awesome process, not just with Liam, but really the entire staff.
I do want to ask you just about the quarterback you are going to work with this year, which is Trevor Lawrence, who came into the NFL with this generational talent tab. And we've seen glimpses of it, but I guess what is going to be your thought process with him of trying to make that consistent week to week? Because he definitely has that in him.
Yeah, I think it comes down to our processes and trying to refine those and stick to those. And if we can create the right processes for Trevor, and perhaps more importantly or equally as important, the right processes around him, I think those will drive the results and those will speak for themselves. So ultimately, it's just focusing on trying to refine those processes, trying to make sure that we're being supportive in as many ways as possible, and making sure that he has the pieces he needs to be successful. We're providing, whether it's the information, the opportunities, the practice reps, whatever it is, to create that environment for success and the circumstances for success. And then just doing it on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute basis will really ultimately determine that final result.
Couple more here on Jacksonville before I get back to a couple things about you. There's going to be a lot of national attention this year with the Jaguars, primarily on one player, and that is the number 2 overall pick with Travis Hunter. Um, it's one of the most unique players we've seen ever in the NFL. What's it been like so far in the limited time being around him and knowing the fact that he's going to be on offense, but also he'll be in defensive meetings and making sure you use as much time as you do have with him before he has to go somewhere else.
Yeah. He's been an injection of energy into not just the offense, but I think the team. What you see on TV of him dancing around or bringing the juice and all that energy to practice, that is genuine. That's the real deal right there. So he's a lot of fun to be around, not only because he brings that energy, but because he is a football guy in the sense that he loves football, wants to be great, willing to work, wants to talk about things, wants to go over things, and can, like Liam said, I know he's mentioned it multiple times, can run all day. So he's out there excited about practice and he's practicing hard for the entire time he's practicing. So that's exciting for me as a coach to be a part of that, let alone to have a guy like that to get to work with. I'm excited about the challenges of splitting time between offense, defense, and the many different roles that he'll play on our team. And if there's a guy that can do it, I'm excited about seeing him approach that challenge.
Well, he's not going to be alone because you got to be with one stud LSU receiver in Minnesota of Justin Jefferson. You're getting another here in Jacksonville with Brian Thomas Jr. Just how exciting is it to go from having Justin, who is pretty awesome, to going to this young guy who is had a pretty good rookie year and is on his way as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities there between the guys, and there's a lot of ways that those guys are different. But once again, I think the same excitement that I have for Travis, I have very similar feelings towards BT. Now, he has proven himself more than Travis because he's played last year and had a great year last year. But I think what we can do with it in this offense and what he can continue to do if he continues to work and improve will only, we're only scratching the surface of his potential, I guess, really in that regard. So I'm excited to see what the final product looks like, but it's going to be certainly, I mean, there's no misconceptions about the amount of work that it's going to take for us or for him or for Travis or for any of those guys to get there.